What's up, people? How you doing? How y'all feeling, man? It's your boy Styles Tino, and we back. First off, I want to say I know it's been a minute. Um, happy New Year, happy 2026. It's a new day, man. It's a new day, and first I want to say this much before I even get into this, because I know you guys seen the thumbnail, you guys seen the title, so we're gonna get into that. I'm doing somewhat of a small pivot on my channel. When I say small, what I mean by that is, when I started my YouTube channel, I never really knew exactly what I wanted to do, so I would just test things out, and some things worked, some things didn't. But since I've been monetized, it's been kind of hard making videos. Well, the videos I've been making is not really monetizable. Most videos I make today is more so reacting videos, or reaction videos. The ones that get probably the biggest views are the ones that when I react to like music. And if you guys know on YouTube, they don't play about music. That is a surefire way to get maybe a copyright strike, or just get your content hit with a copyright, so then you can't monetize it. And not to make this about money, but I like to make some money with my videos. So people have told me tell stories, because they think I tell good stories, particularly funny stories. So I said, okay, maybe I'll try that. So that's what we're doing today. But the difference is, this story is a funny story. This story is actually we'll get into it. All right. So like I said, I'm gonna tell the story. Hope you guys like my content. Hope you guys like this content. Let me know. Y'all know what to do already. If y'all do like it, if y'all want to talk about it, engage, let's talk about it in the comment section, and we can do that. So with that being said, I do want to say this too. We are officially 92 days away from the Michael Jackson biopic, whatever you want to call it. All right. If y'all know, you guys know that I am a Michael Jackson fan. I grew up just listening to Michael Jackson music. It was always played in my household. So Michael Jackson's music, his entertainment aspect of, however you want to look at it, it plays a big part in just how I look at music, how I look at entertainment today. So I say all that to say it kind of ties into my story just a little bit of why I feel the way I feel about Michael Jackson, about MJ, about music and all that. But we'll get into it. All right. So let's get into it. All right. So like I said, you guys seen the thumbnail, you guys seen the title, and this is a true story, and I'm gonna tell it. So this story is based in Detroit, Michigan. If you guys don't know, I am from Detroit, Michigan. I still live here in Detroit, Michigan. I am filming this video here in Detroit, Michigan. So I love my city. With that being said, this story takes place in Detroit, Michigan, around 1970, 71, 72. This is like the time period. So I'm just trying to give y'all just a little backdrop of the time, the period, all that. All that. Now, this story involves 3 young men. Ages range between 10, 11, and 12, in that order. 10, 11, and 12. These young men, they met in elementary school. All this is taking place on the west side of Detroit, by the way. Met in elementary school. Mind you, the Jackson 5 is one of the biggest groups or boy bands in the world. Black group too. Owned by under signed to one of the most successful independent black labels owned by another Detroiter, Berry Gordy. So, mind you, you can just imagine you got this successful group, so successful that now you have other groups, other little kid groups, boy bands, whatever, who wants to mimic the same success. So now you have groups like even young Caucasian boys forming a group, Our Brothers, and they're trying to mimic the Jackson 5. If you don't know, I'm talking about the Osmonds. They had a song called, they had many songs, but I want to say their most popular song is a song called One Bad Apple. If you guys don't know it, do your research, look up your history. The Osmonds, One Bad Apple. It's a dope song. It's a nice song. You can hear the influences that the Jackson 5 had on this group. So, you have groups like that. You had the Silvers. You have Foster Silver, who had a song called Misdemeanor. All this, is coming from the heels of the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson and just the success that these guys had. So, I'm saying all this to say that you have many groups who wanted the same type of success. So again, 3 young men. I'm not gonna say their names because I'm just not gonna say them. But it's not even important. Well, maybe I will say. But I don't know yet. We'll see how the story goes. But again, this story begins at a school, an elementary school. I'll name the school. The school is called Pasture Elementary. I even went there one time, believe it or not. Anyways, so you have a lead singer and you have, the 2 backups. They all can dance good, so they can hold their own. And this group, they're pretty good. I mean, it's a local group, but they're good. They're entering talent shows. They're winning. So yeah, they're pretty good. The youngest, who may even pattern himself like a little Michael Jackson, he's very outgoing. He takes initiative. He's a go-getter. He's not scared. And he's the leader of the group. Now, what if I said the youngest, who is the leader of the group, just so happens to live maybe around the corner from a famous Motown act. Very popular. Very popular. Do I need to say his name? Okay, I'll say it. Marvin Gaye. So during this time, around 1970, Marvin is living on the west side of Detroit with his wife, Anna Gaye, who's Barry's older sister. And they have a little young son named Marvin Jr. Okay, matter of fact, I'll show you guys. This is the house. This is the house they lived in. Nice home. Still nice to this day. So you can imagine how it looked back in 1970. Immaculate. I wasn't there, but I can only imagine, right? So, people would see Marvin, maybe take pictures, maybe ask for the autograph. He's one of the biggest stars in the world, who just so happens to live close by the lead singer of this up and coming group who's trying to make it in the business. Mind you, they want to be signed to Motown too. Motown is right downtown on West Grand Boulevard. So yeah. So what if I told y'all one day these 3 young men, boys, because they kids, so they outside playing maybe, probably talking crazy, whatever, just doing kid stuff, walking down the street, and they happen to spot a little boy on a big wheel. Now, this is how the story, now, of course, if you guys, and I'm being very specific, so, obviously this story was told to me. And the way it was told to me is the way I'm giving it to y'all. So they're walking down the street. They see a young man, a young boy on a big wheel, riding this little big wheel. They notice who this little boy is. The lead singer, he looks and said, "Hey, that's Marvin Gaye's son." So they talking to him. So the lead singer of this group, matter of fact, and the group is called the Classmates, by the way. That was the name of the group. They called themselves the Classmates. So the lead singer of the Classmates, he tells Marvin's son, Marvin Jr., "Hey, are you Marvin Gaye's son?" The little boy says, "Yeah," the whole nine. So I guess they're talking. So he tells the Marvin Jr., "Go in the house, do us a favor. Go in the house, go tell your dad that it's a group out here, a young group out here, and we are just as good as the Jackson 5. He may have even said better. I mean, who knows? But still, we good, either just as good, better, or, we're good like the Jackson 5, whatever. However he worded it, that's what he said. The little boy, being a little boy, okay. Jets across the street to the home, this home that I was sure again. Matter of fact, I'm gonna keep this house up just so y'all can just get an idea of what was going on. So the little boy jets across the street, goes into the house. He tells his father, "It's a group outside. They said they good like the Jackson 5. They said, you should hear them out." Around this time, maybe it's taking maybe a couple of minutes. So 2 of the members of the Classmates, not the lead, but 2 of the members, they get a little scared. They thinking what's going to happen? They kids. He going to come out with a gun. He going to shoot us. All that kind of stuff, right? But the lead singer, he looking like, y'all tripping. Whatever. I'm standing right here. Just so happened, once they were about to leave, Marvin's butler comes out. I'm assuming it's like a Lurch looking dude. I don't know how the guy look, but let's just say he looks like Lurch. I don't know why. That's funny to me. He comes out. He says, "Hey, do you guys call yourself the Classmates?" They turn around. Yeah. Marvin wants to see y'all. Come on. So now they looking like, what? They jet across the street, goes into their home that you guys see on the screen, and was escorted to the back. Marvin was sitting, and this is how the story was told to me. Marvin is sitting in his bedroom in the bed with his wife. Trust me, they're fully clothed, so nothing crazy. But they just chilling, relaxing. Little boy's in there too. So Marvin looks at him. He says, "Yeah, you guys, so you guys sing, huh?" They say, "Yeah." He says, "Okay. What do you guys call yourselves again?" They said, "The Classmates." He said, "Okay. Sing something." So they break off into their best Jackson 5 performance. Maybe a little James Brown in there, the lead singer. He's doing his thing. He's probably doing the splits, whatever. They get done. Marvin sits up. And he's impressed. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Huh. What's your name again? Individual names. What's your name? The lead singer tells him his name, your name, and so on and so on. Marvin tells the boys, write your name down on this paper along with the group name. They do it. Marvin looks at him. He says, "Come back here after school around maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. Come back here. Sharp. Y'all going to Motown." Just like that. Right? Boys is excited, ecstatic. I assume they go home and tell their parents, "Mom, Dad, guess what?" Whatever. Next day comes. They go to Marvin's home, 4 or 5 o'clock sharp. Marvin is dressed. Believe it or not, they even said he was dressed. He had like a skull cap on. If you guys know Marvin Gaye, There was a famous skull cap, particularly during the Let's Get It On era. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't that skull cap, so it is what it is. But anyways, Marvin had a skull cap on, whatever. He listed the boys. You guys ready? They say yeah. Probably looking for his keys. Okay. Before they left, Marvin said, okay, hold on. Before we leave, let's do this. Come over here by this piano. Marvin had a piano that sat in his living room. Let's go by the piano. I'm gonna play a note. I just want to see if you guys can hold a note and not tone deaf, whatever. Standard stuff for singers. Boys looking at each other like easy breezy, easy peasy. The lead singer, he steps up first. Marvin does it, hits a note. Young man does it, no problem. Okay, cool. Move over. Next, hit the note. He does it, no problem. Move over. Next, hit the note. This young man struggled a little bit. That was a struggle. Hit the note. He was a little off. Marvin said, okay, hold on. Just take your time. Take your time. We got this. Do it again. Hit a little off. By this time, the two young men who passed, they kicking the shoe like, hey, what you doing, man? Come on, do this so we can go to Motown. You can imagine, right, the pressure that this young man is having at this moment. You got Marvin Gaye, who's telling him, like, don't worry, just calm down, just take a deep breath, you got this. Then you got his friends kicking him. So now it's making things worse. And he's a kid. He starts to cry. So Marvin looks at him and says, are you crying? Now at this point, he's quiet. You remember when we were kids and you start crying, you get quiet, you don't want to say nothing. You're so mad, you just don't say nothing. It was that moment. So Marvin is asking him a question. Are you crying? He's not answering. Marvin, do you hear me talking to you? He's not answering. Finally, he gets mad, looks at Marvin, and says, F you, Marvin. I would say the word, but YouTube is crazy when it comes to just these curse words, so I'm going to leave it at that. F you, Marvin. And runs across, well, not run across, runs out the house and probably just run home. You can imagine it's an awkward silence going on. Marvin looks at the two young men, the lead singer and the other young man in the group, and looks at them and says, what did he say to me? The two young men look like, oh, Marvin, he didn't say nothing. He just, Marvin says, no. What did he say? The lead singer looked up and said, yeah, Marvin, he said, he said, F you. So that's how that day ended. Now, you ask. So I guess that ended their relationship with Marvin. Wrong. Marvin understood they were kids, the whole nine. And, who knows? He was a kid at one time, so I'm sure he forgave the one that said F you and said, okay, all right. They just was not ready that day. But I still see something in this group, so I'm going to work with them. Because eventually, they're going to Motown. And that's what Marvin did. He worked with them. Now, how much? I don't know. I was not there. But he worked with them. Fast forward, we're talking like maybe 1971-ish. 71, yeah. Mind you, these young men, they were around Marvin Gaye while Marvin was recording his masterpiece album, What's Going On. They were there. During this time, Marvin's probably been writing songs for them. Matter of fact, I was told to me that Marvin would sing a song that he wrote for them, something about dreaming, and they liked it, but to them, it didn't sound like nothing the Jackson 5 would make. It sounded like something that Marvin maybe would sing. And these are kids, so they're not even maybe seeing the full scope of it, but it is what it is. They're kids. But my point is, they are around Marvin during this time. Matter of fact, there's an interview that I seem to can't find. That was recorded in 1971 at Marvin's house with the three young men. And Marvin introduced them as the new name that Marvin gave them. So the new name, Marvin, obviously he didn't like the classmates. He's like, I can do better. You guys can do better. So Marvin gave them a name of Mother's Love. That was the name of the group, Mother's Love, which is a dope name to me. To this day, still a dope name. So Mother's Love, again, they're rehearsing the whole nine. They're still winning talent shows, they're popular, and they're just around greatness. Now, Marvin comes out with what's going on. It takes off. It's probably one of the best albums, period, to this day. But I'm not sure how much it sold back then, but it did pretty good even at that time in 1971. During this time, there was a picture that was taken with the three young men and Marvin at the piano. This is during what's going on era. It was other pictures too, but this one particular picture you're not going to be able to find. I'm going to post it up. I'm going to post the other pictures that was taken that you can find on the internet. Man, you can't find these pictures on the internet. This picture was taken the same day as this other picture I'm going to show, and then I'm going to show the other picture. All right, so this is the picture right here. It's going to be right here somewhere. This is the picture that you can find on the internet. I think it's maybe another one too. I'm going to post that one too. But there was one more taken. I'm pretty sure there was more taken. But there was another taken that you cannot find anywhere. But guess who got it? Your boy. Yeah, I got it. This is right here. So the group that I've been talking about the whole time, this is them. And this is Marvin at the piano. So this is the group. Now, the first young man who's standing right by Marvin, that is the lead singer. That is the one who, would pattern himself after Michael Jackson, the whole nine. He was the go-getter, the outgoing one. Still outgoing to this day, actually. Anyways, so this is the group. The group even performed for Barry. So Barry would do this thing every year. I believe it started in the 60s, called the Sterling Ball, and I think it was to raise money. I think that it was in honor of his late. I believe. You guys, if you guys know more about this segment, this part of it, you guys can fact check me. But I believe Barry had a sister that died due to an illness, so he did like a event every year where he would raise money, and this was the event. This group, the group Mother's Love, Marvin took them to this event this one year called the Sterling Ball, and they performed for Berry Gordy, Diana Ross, Billy D. Williams. It was a whole, just anybody who was anybody in the 1970s, they were there, and this group performed for them, and they were doing their thing. As this story was told to me, they did their thing. Only thing is, here's what happened. Okay, this was initially the audition for Motown. What happened was they're performing, but the backing band that the group had, they were playing a bit too loud. And it prompted Barry to stop the show. Tell the band, you guys doing good, but just play a little lower. I can't hear them. So already it's not looking good. Barry had to stop the performance, tell the band, y'all playing too loud, just so I can hear the lead singer and the two, so I can hear Mother's Love. They start back up. They're doing their thing. They still do good, but, to stop the performance, it kind of just, it didn't look good. So after the performance, Barry walks up to the young man. He tells him, "You guys were great. Excellent. I loved it. It's only one problem. I think I had some technical difficulties. I'm sorry. It's only one problem. I already have a Jackson 5. Can we take a moment of silence, please? So, you can imagine that kind of probably crushed him. But they didn't give up. This was around maybe 1972. If you guys know the story, 1972, 1973, that's when Motown left Detroit and moved to California. So, that happened. Group still did their thing, pursuing a dream. But when Marvin left, it made things maybe a bit more difficult because Marvin was their manager. And they couldn't up and leave with Marvin Gaye because they're kids. Their parents weren't going for that. And that's pretty much where that story ends. But I would say this much. That performance I was telling you guys about, the Sterling Ball, that performance, Jet Magazine covered it. Well, he didn't cover. Well, he covered this. They covered the Sterling Ball, and you can actually see the kids performing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show y'all. If I ain't showed y'all already. So that's the performance. That's the kids. Mother's Love performing. You can see Barry. If you guys look close, you can see Barry. You can see Dinah. Dinah was pregnant at the time with her first daughter, I believe. I think Ray Charles was even there. Billy D. Williams, like anybody who was anybody was there. The who's who was there. So, this group, they were around some people. Now, you may ask yourself, how do you know this story? How do I know this story? How do I know this story? Well, how do I know the story? Just so happens, the lead singer of the group, this guy right here, I'm gonna post a picture again. That guy right there, lead singer, just so happens to be my father. That's right. He's the pappy. My papa. Dada. Don't do that again. Yeah, that's my pops though. That's my pops. So you can imagine when I say that I'm a huge fan of Michael Jackson. My father held Michael Jackson to the standard of what it is to be when you get into this entertainment business. Michael was the top tier, and rightfully so. So when I tell y'all, when y'all see that little corny reaction video I did when I was reacting to the Michael Jackson biopic, I watch it today. Sometimes I get a little cringe, but it is what it is. Y'all know why, okay? Have a little history within that, and that's why. So yeah, man. So now y'all know the story of my pops and how him and his group was almost signed to Motown under the guidance of Marvin Gaye. And my dad was actually still, he still communicated and was still in contact with Marvin's ex-wife, Anna Gaye, up until when she passed away. So rest in peace to Miss Anna Gaye. I believe every now and then he does talk to little Marvin, but not as much. but he was always still connected within the Gordy family, the Motown, the whole nine. And that picture I showed y'all, you're not gonna see anywhere else. So if y'all look on the internet, and if you guys do see it, it's because I posted it somewhere. I hope my pops don't kill me for it, but it is what it is. So again, that's my story, y'all. This was a long video. Hope y'all stayed to the end, man. Hope y'all stayed to the end, and I hope y'all enjoyed my story. I got more stories, probably not as legendary as I would say that story is, but I do have more. So with that being said, man, make sure you guys like and subscribe to my channel, all that good stuff. And I will see y'all soon with more content, man. Again, happy 2026. See you soon. Peace.